live. I think we live. Looks like we're live. I think we live. See if we live on. What's going on, y'all?
The reason that I titled it Trump, Bill Cosby, and Kavanaugh.
See if we live. I'm just trying to make sure we live everywhere.
The Me Too movement.
Yep,
What's going on, y'all?
we live. How you guys doing? My neck is still like hurting really bad. Hope you guys can hear me. I'm also live on Instagram too. So if you guys want to chat with me or go live with me and have some questions, you guys can go to Instagram on Jordan Cheriton Reports on Instagram. You guys can chime in, and if you want to say something or have a discussion. So as you guys know, today has been the hearing for Ford and Kavanaugh. We just got through hearing from Christine Ford, her testimony, and I want to know what you guys think about it. Like, how do you feel about it? For me, I'm all in. What I saw from what I heard, like her disposition. I'm gonna tell you one thing that got me, and if you guys were logged in yesterday, I kind of told a story about what happened to me. But she said something. One of the lady, the lawyer, the prosecutor that was questioning her for the Republican Party, for the, she said she was asking a series of questions of, do you remember, where were you before? Who was at the party? Where were you after this and that? She was kind of like, I really don't. She's like, well, what do you remember? And Christine said, I remember the laughter. I remember hearing the laughter. And that hit me because for me, when I think about and when that comes up of my cousin who tried to approach me, what I remember is the smell. Like Speed Stick or like Brute Cologne, like that old, like when I smell that, it takes me back to me as 13, 14, being right there in that position. It's anytime I smell it, it takes me right back there. And when she said that, I was just like, oh my God, like she's absolutely telling the truth. So she just finished her questioning. The Senate questioned her for about 3 hours. It's been going on for 3 hours now. They had a lunch break and then they came back on. I didn't want to come on live until after she testified and finished her testimony. But I've been watching CNN and Fox News, and both are, say, and even though Fox News is always kind of trying to go against the grain, trying to find some end to discount her credibility. They feel the same way that I feel, and a lot of other people feel that, yes, she's a credible witness. She's credible. Like her disposition, everything came off, and everyone believed it. So, it to me, it's been kind of extraordinary. I'm eager to hear what Kavanaugh has to say coming up. I know he'll be coming up in a minute. So, what up, Austin, on Instagram? How you feeling, player? So, yeah, that's it was crazy for me. It was just like it was emotional for me. I teared up a little bit at a point, but I think it was at one point they asked her, because like I said, they was trying to, the prosecutor, the female that was interviewing her on behalf of the Republicans were, asking, trying to gauge her credibility, asking her questions about what she remembered, what she didn't remember. And one of the Democrats, I can't think of his name, but he said, "Let me know." Oh, it was when the part where she brought up about there was a lawyer, Mark Judge, the other guy that was supposed to be in the room. He put out some article talking about maybe she's confusing, Brett Kavanaugh with some other guy and named a guy and things like that. And so one of the Democratic senators asked, "I want to know, like, outside of everything, this event that you're explaining, how, gauge, do you remember that?" And she said 100%. 100% she remembered exactly what happened, what was going on, when it happened. So, and it was powerful. It was powerful. You saw it. It was nothing about her disposition that was incredible. That wasn't credible. So now you see some of the I'm watching CNN as we're talking, but you see some of the pundits, and you see even some of the senators. Lindsey Graham was talking. He was so just confident that this was some ploy against the Democrats and things like that. And that goes regardless of what the motives were for the Democrats. That doesn't even matter. It's not about the strategy or what the Democrats are trying to do. It's what happened to this lady. Regardless of their strategy, that has nothing to do with Ford. Regardless of anything, it has nothing to do with her. It doesn't even have anything to do with the issue. Regardless of their tactics, was she sexually assaulted when she was 15 years old? That's the thing. Lindsey Graham tried to act like he was so wanted to believe, and the only thing he did, if you guys saw the press conference after Christine finished, his only argument was the Democrats is doing this, the Democrats is doing that. Didn't say anything. He tried to differentiate him talking about the Democrats versus Christine, because obviously he don't want to be on that side of the train. He want to make sure that everyone knows that it's the Democrats that's doing whatever. But regardless of that, he had nothing to say about the credibility of that girl. They're worried. The Republicans are worried. And this is the first time throughout these past 2 weeks that I actually felt like, man, his nomination may be recalled. Because I don't see anything that he could possibly do to convince anyone that this couldn't have possibly happened. Especially thinking about the book that was written by Mr. Judge, by the other guy that's supposed to have been in the room. And one of the characters had Kavanaugh's last name. He tried to mix up the names to, protect the innocent or guilty. But his name was in there talking about how much he drank and what they used to do and just the whole culture in that school. There's no way that he could possibly say anything different. So that's how I feel. I feel that I guess they've been saying this is history or whatever, but I actually feel that this may, if this doesn't, I would be so surprised, but at the same time, it would be typical. But if this doesn't sway at least 4 Republican senators, it would catch me by surprise and by storm, because the women on the Republican side has to see. There's no way you can look past this. Like I said, unless somehow Brett Kavanaugh has this miraculous testimony and somehow be empathetic towards what Christine is going through, and at the same time display his case and convincingly display that he didn't have anything to do with it. I just don't see how it could possibly happen. You can't. There's no way that you can do both. A lot of people on CNN and Fox News go back to 91 and talk about how the justice. Oh my God, his name is slipping. But how he said, he kind of put out this statement like this is a high-tech lynching of of uppity blacks, you know, which kind of turned everything around for him. Him using that sentiment of this is just, you know, white America trying to lynch a black man because he's come up and was educated and did everything he had to do to make this happen. Now you guys are trying to, you know, like modern day lynch me by putting these accusations against me. Clarence Thomas. Now if Brett Kavanaugh is able to pull off something like that, which I don't see how that could possibly happen. I mean, you got 3 more people that's not even, matter of fact, you got 4, is it 4 more? I think it's 4 more, 3 more people that's not even on the stands. This is not singled out. This is not one thing that happened that could be a lie or could be the truth. This is something that obviously seems like a trend throughout his life and throughout his career. So I'm eager to like see exactly what's going to happen. How do you guys feel about this? What's going on in here? You guys leave some comments. Let me know how you feeling about everything that's going on. Like I said, if you guys are on Instagram, if you guys want to like chat to me live right now, I'm on Instagram under Jordan Sheridan Reports, and you can like request to chime in, and I'll talk to you live about this whole issue. So if you guys want to do that, that'll be cool too. My neck is, you know what's funny? I told you yesterday that exhausted 11 at the like smoking weed didn't help, but actually a friend of mine brought some CBD oil over, and that actually helped. So it's actually been helping. I'm not in as much pain as I was for the past 4 days, so that's amazing. So I'm grateful of that. You guys can see I haven't been able to do anything, so I'm looking real rough right now. But anyway, let me know how you guys feel about if you guys been tuning in to the testimonies, to the hearing. I think it's been going on since like 7 o'clock this morning, 8 o'clock this morning, West Coast time, or 7 o'clock West Coast time. So that would be 10 o'clock East Coast time. Yeah, I think it was like 10:04 is when it started. So you guys let me know how you feel about it. Do you think that Kavanaugh will be nominated, or do you think that it'll be withdrawn? I was talking to Jordan earlier, and he was telling me how he wouldn't be surprised if they just withdraw his nomination and pick another person. To me, I never even thought if that happens, that will be amazing. To say like it would be something that, because that would show that they're losing. If they did that, I don't think they would do it, because if they did it, that would affect them in the midterms. It would definitely affect. Everyone is already skeptical about the Republican Party. They know that they're manipulators, they're liars. As far as, and I'm not trying to say all Republicans are liars, but I'm talking about the establishment. The Republicans in the Senate, the Republicans in the House, the Republicans on Fox News, they're all have an agenda, and the agendas keep everything right. So if they were to snatch his nomination, they will definitely lose the House in the midterms, and maybe even the Senate. I don't know, but there's a lot of implications that'll come with that. So yeah, she's a hero. She's definitely a hero, and people need to write to the FBI to write for a public inquiry into Kavanaugh's disclosure, every detail. As a Canadian, that's what I suggest. Cheryl Sibbins, yeah, absolutely. I think you're absolutely right. They should get into it, and they brought it up. And you know, one thing that Christine brought up also was the fact about where he worked at the time. That's so significant. You think of it. If they can just, she's like, I can tell you exactly around the time because he was working here. They don't want to do that. They don't want to do it. That's just, it's obvious that they don't want to do that. But that is so significant to this case, and getting more evidence that they say that they want, which they actually they don't want. They don't really want that evidence. They want to push Kavanaugh through and keep it pushed and keep it moving to the midterms. That's what they want to do. They don't want any real evidence. But you think about that. Like, how much information would you get as far as timeline is concerned if they knew where he worked at the time? I mean, if they investigated, because she already stated where he worked, If they just go in there and see what was the time period, then they'll know it happened around this time, between X and between Y. What else can you do? But that's not what they want to do. So I'm just wasting my breath even having a conversation, because they don't want to know. They don't want to know the information. Only thing that they want to know, only thing that they want to do is to pass Kavanaugh through. I was surprised that the Senator Lindsey Graham. I don't know why. I guess I was surprised because I got caught up in the whole funeral of his good friend. I can't even think of his name right now. I'm sorry, but the senator that just passed away, and that was a good friend of Lindsey Graham's, and the senator from Arizona. But I was so taken by how they were friends and how this guy was such. I don't want to say he was a maverick, but there were times where he rose to the occasion when he needed to. There were times McCain, yeah, thank you. I appreciate it, Exhausted 11. When John McCain, there were times when he rose to the occasion. I remember seeing, I was watching a documentary not too long ago about when he was running for president against Bush, and he was in South Carolina. They asked about the flag in South Carolina. Should it be still up or should they take it down? And in the midst of the campaign, he said, you know what, that's for the states to determine, and no, I think it should stay up. That's what he said during the campaign. He came back later, obviously after he lost, but he still came back later and said, you know what, I apologize because I lied to you guys. I feel that the flag should be taken down. He rose to the occasion. He rose to the occasion maybe for political reasons when he was running against Barack Obama, and denounced and apologized for trying to go against Martin Luther King's birthday, and I still have feelings about that, because he did it like 3 times. During it, he said he did it once, but he went against trying to not make Martin Luther King's birthday a holiday in Arizona 3 times throughout his time there. I think it was 2 times in the 80s and once in the 90s. So, but he still went back and apologized, probably for political reasons, but whatever. But he still rose to the occasion, and I thought Lindsey Graham would do the same thing and say, I want to hear this person out. Instead, he gets on the defensive, acts like he was all good and everything was okay, but he goes on the defensive and say, you know what? Why do you guys believe her? Why do you not believe Kavanaugh? The Democrats is doing this. The Democrats is doing that. The Democrats could have put this out in August. They could have put this out in July, but they chose to leak it, and we know who leaked it. He goes on this whole rant about the Democrats, and still at the same time trying to say, oh, well, I'm not talking about Christine. I'm talking about the Democrats. Man, come on now, like, have some humanity. And it's just unfortunate, and it's unfortunate that he would still be on that BS instead of being on what's the truth. And we know that this lady, if everyone just, if we're all, because this is not a criminal case, right? No one's going to jail. This is about credibility. So any human knows, unless they just want to believe a certain thing, and you got people on the right and the left that just want to believe a certain thing, and they can't wait till they hear something that validates their own beliefs. But if open-minded human beings just looked at her testimony and what she had to say, there's no question. There's no question you can walk out of that room and say, you know what? Yeah, I hear what she said, but Brett Kavanaugh, like, wow, like, I want to, you would just want to hear what Brett Kavanaugh have to say, because you have no answers. You have no rebuttal to what you just heard from Christine. Because she was very genuine. She seemed very authentic. Everything that she's, you saw even at times she was a little confused. You saw at times she was trying to figure out what was going on. Like she unless she's an actor, which I doubt, she was very just present. She was very vulnerable. She disclosed everything that she knew, and there's nothing that anybody can say to make me think otherwise. I 100% believe her. Simpson from Canada. Ty, my ex-mother-in-law, had to hand over the phone just due to men like him. Hand over the phone. If this isn't dealt with, women will be dealing with BS another generation. You're absolutely right. I don't understand about your mother-in-law. had to hand over the phone just due to men like him. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe that's Canadian lingo. I'm not sure. Help me out. But did you see Swami Ted Cruz walk in, kind of push his way before the hearing? No, I didn't see that. I know the lady was speaking for Ted Cruz also. I remember when his questions came up, I'm like, yeah, his ass bet not say anything, because he's definitely going to lose his seat in Texas, because he's going to say something stupid like he normally would, because he's an insensitive prick. Because he said something dumb about the police office. Democrats going against, why does the Democrats go against police all the time, referring to the Dallas police officer killing both of them in Dallas, Texas? Like, what? He was in his own home, and that's your rebuttal? Oh, Democrats are trying to turn Texas into California. They want us to eat tofu. Like, really? That's your argument? No, he's ridiculous. And whatever. So let me see. She had to hand over her phone to her husband because men wouldn't talk with her about business. Wow. Wow. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Wow, that's crazy. Because they thought that's like 1985 type shit, where I gotta then conduct my business because you don't think I'm capable or capable enough to conduct something or be in a position that I worked hard for, that I went to school for, that I'm actually in this position because somebody put me here. They have the confidence knowing that I can do what even though I worked that hard, I then have to still use my husband as a buffer because of your perception of women. Oh, that's crazy. I'm sorry that your mother is still having to go through that in 2018. That's crazy. Endo says, Kavanaugh will say, it wasn't me and I don't remember anything. Obviously, of course. That's all he's said. That's all he's been saying. I think a lot of things going to bite him in the butt because he went on Fox News, as you guys know, earlier this week. I think it was Monday or Tuesday, and talked about he was a virgin until he could have been a virgin while he was in high school. No one's saying that because she didn't say he raped him. She said he tried to. He touched her. He tried to rip her clothes off. So you could have been a virgin, but I doubt it. I doubt it, based on what the other woman is saying. And but you never know. But that's not the case at hand. We're not saying that you penetrated someone, but you tried to. And you said that you didn't drink at all in high school, and that's just not the case. You got some of your friends, and you got people saying that yes, you used to drink a lot. That was part of the culture. Everyone drank in high. I used to drink in high school. I wasn't 21. That's just what happened. Officials. White House officials, I'm looking at CNN, White House officials, hearing so far is terrible for Kavanaugh. They're saying it's terrible. The White House is saying it's terrible. It is terrible. Yeah, I like no more barbecues when better. Yeah, no more barbecues. It's amazing. It's amazing, his tactics. Just looking at you guys' comments. Beneath Strill, people always ask, why didn't you come out earlier? I was abused. I've never had the courage to talk about it. You know what? It's funny, Vinny Strill, or S. Trill, what I talked about yesterday, when I talked about my experience and how long it took me to come out. Sometimes people, and this happens throughout life, different situations where people they can't perceive what they've never been through. They're just in their box, and anything outside of their box. I remember when I was at USC and I was pitching a story for a short film about this young girl that was 13 that was pregnant. And the majority, mind you, it's only 8% black people at USC and probably 2% in the film school there. But when I pitched that story, every kid, they were young, they were all like 18, 19, 20. They couldn't see a 13-year-old being pregnant. They didn't understand that. And I got it because they hadn't experienced it. They didn't live in an environment that I lived in. You know what I'm saying? So I understood that they couldn't fathom seeing a 13-year-old being pregnant, but that happens, and it happens a lot, especially in impoverished communities. So a lot of times with these senators and the people in Congress, they can't see it because they hadn't been through it. And a lot of times they do see it, but they just don't want to admit it because they're about their party first. You know what I mean? If you can look historically speaking, it's been a lot of politicians that was against gay rights until they found out their daughter was gay, or they found out somebody in their family was gay. Then they had a better understanding of what that actually meant. So I can understand how people cannot see something based on their experience, and this is why these the Congress need to be out of office, all of them, because they don't represent the majority of this country. The majority of this country is from 21 to like 45. That's the majority in this country, and the Senate and the Congress and the House do not represent that. Everyone there is damn near over 60, and the youngest people are still in their 40s and mid 40s, and they don't represent the majority of this country, so they can't see what we see. You know what I'm saying? They need to step down, even on their own, even if they're not voted out. Step your ass down for the betterment of this country. So then we can get more people in there that has the same empathy and that the people of this country deal with now. Things have changed. Young people don't feel the way that their parents felt back in the day. They don't feel the way that their grandparents felt back in the day. We need to have people that have the same sentiment that we do. You know, so that's what it is. I just wanted to say that and break for a second and talk about that. Hopefully it's not too loud. It's kind of loud out here, but it feels good being out in the backyard because I've been stuck in the house throughout the entire week because my back has been messed up. But the next time you see me, I'll be shaved, looking 10 years younger. But anyway, I think Kavanaugh in a couple minutes is about to talk. So I'm going to grab that, and I think Jordan is going to go live later on today as well. So you guys, thank you for your appreciation. Hopefully you shared this. And let's keep watching, man, and let's keep this shit going on, because obviously it's public opinion. This is not a criminal case, so it's public opinion. And hopefully people see this and they're pressuring their Congress and senators and their representatives to do something, to not allow this vote to go through. And for the first time this morning, I kind of feel that it may not go through. Endo, are you in Hollywood? I am in Hollywood, Endo. I live in Hollywood. I live right off Hollywood Boulevard and Highland. If you can, behind me, I know you can see behind me is that intersection right there is Hollywood. That's I'm sorry, my neck, but that's Hollywood. Highland is right there. I'm like right off Hollywood and Highland. So yeah, I'm on the corner. I'm in Hollywood. This is my apartment. So I do live here. So yeah, Roy Moore did almost get elected. Anything can happen. You're absolutely right, but he didn't. And think about that. Roy Moore almost was elected, and everyone thought he would be elected. And I was in Alabama at the time that happened, and you will not believe how many people, and mind you, I'm not from Alabama, so I couldn't gauge it, but everyone that I talked to said, I've never seen so many people coming out to vote. And when I saw that, I'm like, oh, he's going to win. It was like, I'd never seen, if you remember, we covered the Roy Moore. We were at Roy Moore's party where they were waiting to get the results. We went there because everyone thought that Roy Moore was going to win. Everyone thought that. So we were there waiting on. We gradually saw it decline. It went from we're winning, we're doing good, keep the faith alive. Okay, let's pray. It was kind of funny, but yeah, you're absolutely right. We thought that, so anything can happen. I'm more confident than ever. I don't know, but we just gotta wait and see. So I'm gonna sign off right now. I just wanted to kind of give y'all, talk to you guys and see what's going on. And this is something that I'm gonna start doing all the time, and I'm gonna encourage Jordan to start doing too when he goes live. Like, I'm live also on Instagram on Jordan Cheriton Reports. So if you guys, I think on Instagram, it's a way that you guys can like request to like have a conversation or talk, and just so we can be more engaged with the people that's watching and be more engaged with what's going on. And because what we're doing here at Status Quo is collective. It's you guys and us doing it all together. So like I said, tune in. Hopefully we'll be doing it both ways all the time. Don't forget to, if you can, share this video, become a patron, contribute to our GoFundMe. Like Jordan has been saying, we're trying to get money up so we can get back on the road and cover these things that the mainstream media isn't covering, because they're bombarded by things like this. Even when something is not this important, it's always Trump, Trump, Trump. Trump is just breaking news every hour. So that being said, I'm out. I'll probably see y'all tomorrow, or I'll see y'all in a couple days. So peace.